This week on the show, Alan Antiporta. I'm model Roxanne Kelly.
And I'm photographer Brian Fisher.
And this is Model Photography Showcase. This is the second classic episode we're bringing back. We have quite a few from 2013 that we are reintroducing and allowing our listeners that want new/old podcasts to listen to. They have some new stuff. New and old.
New and old. So Alan is a local photographer and great. And he was very brave to come on episode 2 of our original show. I hope everybody enjoys that. This is, again, a little primitive compared to the new content that's coming out.
Absolutely. And we have this brand new studio.
Well, yeah, well,
recently new.
New compared to the old slideshow format.
That's exactly what I was referring to. Yes.
We have another 49 episodes, and then you'll see some new content coming down the pipeline.
Enjoy. You, Brian.
Another beautiful week on the Central Coast with good people to talk to.
Absolutely.
So, we have a guest. Alan, how are you doing?
Good. How are you, Brian, Roxanne?
Not
Great,
bad.
thank
you. Should tell the audience that Alan is a friend of ours from the Portfolio Jam events, an excellent photographer. We're excited to have him on our third show, our second show with a guest. And we're going to dive right into some images.
Great.
The first one, up on your screen now. I selected this because I just love it. As previously mentioned, I tend to love everything. Just the feel. It's all very almost film in quality. Tell me a little about this guy.
Well, one of my challenges that I've set out for myself every year, I set out a goal, was to use available light and also try to get more emotive feelings from my models. Try to stay away from that portrait smile and look at the camera look. So this image didn't really take long to work with Chase, and that's the model's name. She's a San Luis local, and from the get-go, she was, spot on. She knew what I wanted to do. It's funny. A lot of my pictures, I use a gray card, and it's just really available light and just meter for what the camera tells me. There's times where I do manual and times where I use aperture priority. So,
well, it's a very dramatic
this
shot.
Image.
Really like that you did black and white with this.
Yeah, it's, if you take this to a photo school, they'll be like, well, you've lost all the detail on the right, and you know what? All that is hooey. It all just works, and I like that sort of, she's looking away from the negative space, which again is against what some people would teach you, but she's looking into the area that has some interesting contrast, and I like that.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you.
That is good.
Really like the way your arms are positioned too.
Yeah. No, it just all works.
It does.
Great.
Red Riding, I couldn't go past Red Riding Hood without, putting her into the cast.
Oh, yes, joy.
Love that cape. My goodness.
Again,
Yeah.
for this week, Roxanne will be spending money on a cape.
Yeah.
That would be great.
I have been wanting to do a Red Riding Hood shoot.
I was going to say, if you want to borrow it, I'll ship it over to you, and you can just wear it for a shoot.
Yeah.
So,
Hey, I can send you the images.
Better yet, why don't you come down and take the pictures?
Yeah.
you know what? That sounds like a date. I think I will do that. So, this is Joy. Again, this was actually shot with aperture priority mode. We were walking down to a local river. It's a dry riverbed, and we happened to go through a little wooded area, and I said, stop. The sun was right, hitting on her face, and I said, this is going to be a nice shot. So, nothing really complicated about the shot, just metered off her face. Yes, the black is a little blocked up, but again, nothing special, just available light. This gal's a 5'11", I believe. And
Wow.
Chase, by the way, is 6'4". I know it doesn't really translate, but for some reason I tend to shoot really tall models. Makes
She's
it easier.
only about 4 inches on the screen.
Well, for my shortness, it's perfect. I don't have to squat down to make them look tall. They already are tall.
I have never told anyone you were short. I just told them you were highly concentrated.
No.
One of the things here, there's a lesson in this picture, and that is, the straight-on leg, when it's just parallel to your lens, or, be parallel, it can look really flat. It can look pretty unattractive, but by putting that dappled sunlight across those otherwise flat areas, they became interesting. Mm-hmm. And what would have been, if those legs had been in the same sunlight as her face, your eye would have just right down to them. And instead, it's like a spotlight on her face, and I love that.
Mm-hmm. And that's exactly when she came through the bush. You nailed it. I'm like, oh my gosh, stop, back up, 2 feet, and stay right there. And I wanted to get that almost spotlight effect on her.
It's beautiful.
Yeah, just a perfect choice.
Mm-hmm.
Half of the stuff we do is luck, I think.
Well, maybe
it's skill.
40%.
Okay. Don't be too. What would that be called? Not cautious.
Modest, humble.
Yes. Don't be so modest.
Okay. Oh, Gabby.
My home on the beach.
I love the wardrobe in this one. The contrast between the leather and the light jeans.
That's a riverbed. Man, that looks beach.
It is a riverbed.
It does look beach, though. You're right, Brian. That was my first impression.
Yeah. So this, Adriana Lima has a similar outfit look thing. Mm-hmm. So she wanted to recreate something similar to that. So we just, actually where Little Red Riding Hood was, same area. Just once we got through the thick, there it was. So same with this. It's available light, metered for her face. So spot metering is what I chose. Mm-hmm. And we shot this probably around 5 o'clock, probably closer to 4, since that was in the fall. And, you can see the sun just outlining her or backlighting her.
Yeah, it really let this glow pop
Yes, it's true. Her hair is
and then
just
what I had kind of camera left was my California sun bounce just to my left to catch some of the light to push it back at her. So again, available light, reflector, nothing else.
So on last week's podcast, we had a big talk about the either evil or good of the slightly gold reflector. Is that a California with the gold dimples on it, or is that a straight up silver?
No, you nailed it. It is, I think they call it, is it zebra? It is the gold and silver flecked or striped.
So you're getting a little warmth, but it still reacts to the local temperature and gives you a broader color range.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Nice.
Exactly.
Wow, great image.
Just,
simple. It's a great tool.
Nice.
I brought that to one of the port jams, in fact, and it makes for a great hang glider, too. So.
I bet. Well, let me tell you, it has been decidedly windy here. So will you be heading over to this year's events?
I apologize for not RSVPing. Yes, I will be.
Excellent. You're on my list of people like, he's normally there. I should probably call.
And, in fact, I'm bringing a model. So.
Oh, very good.
Well, wonderful. I look forward to meeting her.
Great.
Okay. I picked this picture only because I want to know, did you put a pole in your living room?
So this is my coworker's wife started teaching pole dancing, and I said, I've always wanted to try to recreate a strip club, not intentionally, but and so this was one of the students who, very attractive young lady who's very good. This was a test to see how many speed lights I could put in a shot, and there's actually 5 speed lights going off at once in this shot.
Wow.
So
old Celerina here in Paso Robles would be very proud of you. He doesn't think any shot's all right unless it has a dozen speed lights.
There's something.
Yeah,
Brian...
I get that McNally kind of thing going once in a while. So,
well, she has a great physique. Mm-hmm. It's not hard, but it's very muscular, and she's not overly buxom, which would be a problem upside down. She's just a great pick.
You know what Brian doesn't know about me is
the thing I like about Eddie Edlin is her in a difficult pose, she makes it look effortless. I mean, look at her expression.
Yeah.
She really does.
She's inverted, and she's using her muscles to keep her, locked onto that pole. And you wouldn't know that she's, doing a really
Probably
good
not
job.
comfortable.
No.
What
Brian doesn't know about me is that I have a pole in my house.
I
do, in my spare bedroom.
I'll bring my camera.
Yeah, I'm thinking that sounds like with the red cape. I'm thinking cape on the pole. I think we've got a shoot.
I think we have a whole new theme for another one of our portfolio events. Take over the Spearmint Rhino for a night, and
I just loved taking those classes, and I just had to have it in my own house.
That is too funny. Does it hurt?
Yes.
Okay, wanted to be sure.
They give you pole kisses, is what they call them. They're little burns.
And I think that's kind of what led to this. Is I always wanted to shoot in a strip club to get that environment feeling or that ambient feeling, and that's what we had to try to do, was recreate that. So
yeah, this next shot is so action oriented. Wow.
Yeah, how many times did you have to shoot this?
So a little background. You've met Brian Redden. He's one of the guys who comes out. He did what we call a throwdown, and he said, we're going to meet with our local models in Bakersfield, 1 hour, and the challenge is you have to shoot in auto mode or P mode. Thank you.
Not sure what that means. You want to enlighten me?
Letting the camera make all the decisions.
Oh.
So it stunk. I would use a different word, but since Roxanne mentioned PG-13, I'll keep it semi-clean. So one of the guys, actually, I think Robert, too, was also at the Pismo Port Jam, and he's holding camera left an SB900 speed light.
Okay.
Bare flash, and if you look at her left side, and even on the left side of the ball, on the blue section, you'll see that little bit of a speed light reflection there.
I do see that.
Because this was shot, again, later in the day. We only had 1 hour in auto or program mode to shoot, and the stipulation for the model was, note your feet couldn't be touching the ground.
Huh.
So there's an accompanying picture.
Fantastic.
So there's an accompanying picture of her also running across the street. Same thing, feet off the ground. And I'll tell you, Brian, it took me about, really, honestly, 20 shots to get this.
Really?
Well, she has obviously got something going there, because not everybody can get that high off the ground with both feet.
Yeah, and
you can throw her in the car too. Bring her on over to the events this year.
It's a great position.
I'll give her a ring.
Yeah.
Please do. Oh.
Okay, so this is as far as we can go in the iTunes PG-13 line. We may have to add a couple of black boxes there, but this picture's amazing.
It really is. I love the net.
Oh, Taylor, same riverbed.
Oh, that's so funny. Where do you shoot anywhere else besides the riverbed?
I do, but apparently, I think Brian likes the riverbed. I think he has an affection for, or an affinity for sand.
I think so too.
I just assumed that you were in my backyard the whole time, and I hadn't caught you yet. I did a shoot playing around with some netting with one of our models down in Santa Barbara, whose name is escaping me. And I was really happy with it, and now I don't feel as happy about my work. Just the expression, the makeup on the eyes, reflecting the color tones of the netting. It's just everything works.
Thank you.
I love the natural look.
So Taylor, actually, this was the weekend before she shipped off in the Navy. She wanted to do one last shoot before she left. And it was her idea. She saw Brigitte Nielsen's picture where Brigitte, I think it was a Herb Ritz image, where he took a picture of her wearing a fishnet. Unfortunately, when I brought out the fishnet, this is the only one I could find, she goes, oh my gosh, Alan, the opening is way too big. Oh. So we had to edit it, so we had to change the look of it a little bit more. But, technically, this was actually about 4 o'clock. There was a lot of light. So what I ended up doing was killing ambient with the speed light behind her. So behind her is, a speed light up on a stand pointing down to rim her. And then here's the big no-no also. This is shot with on-camera flash.
Really?
Yeah. So So the pop-up flash is what's using to fill the rest of her.
Which camera is that?
It's a Nikon D700.
That's got a more powerful flash than I would have anticipated. That's a lot of light going out there.
Yes, it is.
It is, and I believe I was shooting with a 70 to 200 lens, so I probably racked out maybe about 105. So I'm a good distance away using on-camera flash, and I believe the SB900 was at full power, so we could really kill the ambient and give it that night kind of on the beach shot.
That's fantastic. No, I love it.
Yeah.
Very, very nice.
Thank you.
Oh, I just love this image.
Yeah, it is very simple.
We'll definitely need a black box for this one.
Yet, yes, that's true. But or we'll just do the face only. That expression, I mean, she's obviously just gorgeous, but also that had to be some coaching to get that.
Laura?
Yeah.
In the hat? Mm-hmm. So no. Laura, friend of a friend, she actually did catalog modeling in New York City for 2-3 years.
Oh, so she knows the drill.
Yes, and she came back to Bakersfield, and found her at a friend's shoot, and she said, sure, I'll shoot with you. Yeah, fortunately, there's a little slight editing. You can see some of the coloration lower down. This gal is not afraid to walk around in her birthday suit. So,
well, she shouldn't be.
I don't know anyone else that's like that. It's a very
I don't
new
either.
Concept.
I know.
I'm blushing.
I just want to bring this up because it is just absolutely beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you. This was shot late in the afternoon, again in October. Real quick, beauty dish camera left. A little bit of a Cosmo lighting setup. So I've got the beauty dish coming down, and at the bottom of the pool, or not the bottom pool, but out of camera frame, is a reflector to bounce back to kind of give her a little fill. But yeah, she's got a great face structure.
Yeah.
So one of my little side projects, I'm going to be building 4 underwater enclosures for monolights, because we all need to shoot with the lights in the pool.
Yes.
I think that'll be a popular loaner item.
I'll be one of the guys out there helping you. So.
All right. Again, I have to throw in a good-looking man occasionally because
you are so thoughtful.
It's not just a man cast.
I get to appreciate the women's beauty and the man.
Steven. So Steven, I met at a meet and shoot up in Fresno. Again, this was probably about 2:00 in the afternoon. And, it was the usual 15 female models and 2 male models. And the female models were all getting ready, and the males were ready.
Yeah.
Well, they don't have a lot to do.
Mm-hmm.
No.
I have to tell you, looking at this picture, I'm feeling kind of pudgy with poor posture. Oh, I'm a photographer. We're all like that.
Exactly. Thank you. I told him, you work on your six-pack, I'll work on my keg. So.
No, I'm loving the simplicity of it. It is just, you're looking into that open light area. The composure's nice. Everything's nice about it. It all just hooks up.
Mm-hmm.
It's a great picture.
Thank you. With males, I try to shoot them with a little more texture, so I try to do a little more cross lighting. You can see in the abs, the jaw, the strong jaw, the muscle tone. SB 900 speed light with, I believe, a snoot, and just at full power and just kill all ambient. So this was pretty bright, like I said, being 2:00 in the afternoon, I believe. And instead of it being a flat light portrait, I said, no, let's give him some texture and little bad boy. So that's for you, Roxanne.
Well, thank you very much. I appreciate it.
I grabbed a second one.
Ooh, I get 2 in one episode.
Oh, she gets 2. Okay.
Yeah, I'm guessing this was the same wall.
Yes.
So I brought on a second one just to sort of comment on the first.
Sure.
Guys,
so same kind of lighting. These 2 gentlemen, there's actually 3 of them. I think there's a Ferrari guy also. They were the ones who were ready, and these guys are all actually personal trainers. So that's why you have yeah. And here's the funny part. So I tell them, let's go shoot. What do? All three of them say, hang on real quick. They do push-ups and sit-ups before we're going to shoot.
You're not supposed to tell
them. And I kind of looked at Brian Redden, who was with me, and he started laughing too. And I said, wow.
See, that's their prep.
Okay.
Girls put on makeup, and the guys pump up.
I'm going to make Roxanne do push-ups next time. I can see it now.
Exactly.
Okay. Here we go. How did you make the sign green?
Oh, little Sarah. So, Bates Motel here in Bakersfield. Mm-hmm. It was interesting. It was a two-shot thing, actually. I did it once without the sign lit up, and my friend who was actually holding the speedlight camera right in a mini softbox said, can't you do something about the sign? So fortunately, I always tend to overpack. So I had a SB 600 and a little nano stand. So I put on a nano stand, and it's actually just out of frame below, and it's gelled with 2 green gels pointed up right at it. So that was actually shot with a speedlight gelled green, and just to give it that kind of eerie, kind of
retro
hotel look.
Yeah.
One more photo. Oops, that's not it. There we go. I'm saving the big color for last here.
The big color. Oh, Tanya. Oh, nope. Oh, okay. Taylor.
This, I really like this a lot. It's
okay.
Just a little. Again, this is breaking the classical rules where you've lost a lot of skin texture, almost a vampire-y kind of paleness, but offset with the blue, it's really quite nice.
And the eyes, the way the makeup is done, it makes her eyes pop. And it's just her arm and her face, and it's really cool.
So, yeah, this is Taylor. This is the gal in the fishnet out on the Kern Riverbed. Mm-hmm. I shot with her prior to this, and a makeup artist, a friend of mine, said, I love her eyes. I need to do something different. So, she came up with the blue color scheme for the eye makeup. And, again, Brian Redden, my buddy, he had some blue tulle. So I asked him, please bring it. And, we did several shots. And her skin is that light. She put a little bit of a light powder or makeup on her just to give you that kind of vampire look.
Did she use an airbrusher?
Behind her is a SB 900 gelled blue. So, SB 900 gelled blue behind her, the blue tulle, the blue makeup, her stellar blue eyes, and then the key light is a beauty dish with a grid on it. So, and then there's also one behind just rimming her out.
Nice.
So 3 light setup in the garage. This time no beach, no simulated beach.
Well, it worked nicely.
So for gadgets this week, as a model, I really like having a pop-up changing tent. For those of us that are modest, it's very nice. Or for when we're out in public and we don't have access to a place where we can change in private where we don't offend other people, this is a really great option, a pop-up changing tent, super easy to put together and really great for models.
Yeah, I've used the pop-up changing tents for years, and they come in different qualities, and I will advise people to look for darker colors because I've had more than one case of a crowd of young boys looking at these shadows on the backside of the changing tent. Not always good. This week, I am going to recommend something that's just ridiculously simple, and that's a monopod. It's the most easily forgotten doodad, and it really does bring clarity to images. Lots of options. There's this one, and this one, and this one, and they're not expensive. Pop on over to Amazon, take a look. If you don't have one in your arsenal, it's a must-have, and I actually keep a spare because every time you take a kid to a baseball game, Lord knows there's a mother that needs help. Anyway, that's my very simple pick, a monopod. Alan, what do you have for us?
One of the tools that I use a lot is the Lastolite Easy Balance Gray Card. It's collapsible. It folds into a small little disc. And before every shoot, it's something that I can quickly have the model hold up. And in fact, in one of my Flickr streams, I have all the outtakes where I showcase the Gray Card. So
that would be this picture here, or this picture here.
Perfect. Great examples.
The beauty of post-production. Alrighty. What would be the best way for people to get a hold of you and to follow your work?
I can be found on Facebook, the infamous FB, under Elusive Photography. I also have www.elusivephotography.com, and I'm also on Model Mayhem. I don't have my photographer number, but it is there. I'm sure Brian knows it, or at least can get it. But yeah, for me, photography is really just a hobby. It's not a profession for me. So I like to shoot. I like creative people to work with. So no cost. It's usually it's just trade. I like the trade stuff, and I like working with creative people.
Absolutely. Well, if you'd like to send us your thoughts on the show, you can email us at modelphotographyshowcase@gmail.com.
It's a big thanks to everyone for listening again this week, and give us all your thoughts and comments, and we'll make the show better for you. Have a good week.